All right, last question. Everyone asks this question. It's the one that everyone asks. It's the common question. What is the top 5 list right now for Street Fighter 5 Season 5?
Okay, I had to pull up character select for this one, and I gotta add the caveat, like, this is definitely a guess, because to me, if that whole spiel about V-Shift is revealing anything about my mindset right now, is that the game is not, the dust hasn't settled at all. So we're still figuring this out, and I think that's the good part. That's why Season 5 is great. I think it'll take a long time for the dust to settle.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me glance at the screen real quick, because I really got to think about it.
I mean, I know okay. Karen has to be up there.
Yes.
Karen.
Yeah, I would say I still think Akuma. Did the nerfs add up for Akuma? Akuma's one of the characters who actually got nerfed, so that's the one but he's been nerfed every season. So I just feel like I gotta by default put Akuma, because he's been nerfed from top 1 to top 1 every single season. So I'm gonna still. I think he got nerfed again from top 1 to top 1.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw Akuma up there. Cammy, I think Cammy is back in a relatively great position because she didn't get nerfed, and I think the other top tiers did get minor adjustments, and I don't think V-Shift hurts her that much. You can sometimes V-Shift her V-trigger stuff and her dive kicks, but it's hard, and it's not guaranteed to give you a punish. And her pressures are around throws and lights, and throws and lights don't lose to V-Shift.
Right, and that's what I was trying to explain. That's why I think Cammy is top, because her lights,
right,
you can't V-Shift them because she recovers so quick.
Exactly. So I don't think her main pressure tools are not nerfed, where other characters do meaties with heavies, which lose, like Bison or something, right?
Yeah.
So I think she's up there. Let me think. This is where it gets weird.
Urian?
Rashid, maybe? Urian? He was adjusted a little bit. V-Shift. Oh, the V-trigger going away is kind of a decent nerf. His V-trigger goes away. He could be in there. Man, I'm gonna have 10 characters in the top 5. Urian, I guess I'll put Karen also. I think Karen, just by virtue of her being another character like Cammy, where it's like throw or safe meaty, and just great neutral.
Yeah.
So she can go back to neutral herself and then just do safe meaties. It's great for her.
You're forgetting one.
Balrog, you're trying to get him to throw Boxer in there? I think he's top 10. I don't know about top 5.
That's the downplay.
That's the downplay? He could be. The thing is, right now, I think we're at the point where tiers, like the top 5, it's not as important as matchup spread.
Yeah.
And so that's where my mind is like, I want to see all these characters. What is their good and bad matchups, and are they relevant characters or not? Like, that to me is more important. By matchup spread, Balrog might be there. If you crunch the numbers, he might be there. I wouldn't be against putting him in top 5. I don't know if it is for sure. The other character I would consider for that would be maybe Rashid. So
you don't think Ryu is
but
top?
It's tough.
You don't think Ryu's top?
I don't think he's top 5. I think he's a contender. I think he's in like the M Bison, the Abigail, the G. I think Seth. I think he's like around there, but I don't think he's top 5. I wouldn't put him that high. But have you played a good Ryu?
I mean, I've played 1 or 2, but I feel like Ryu's is it V-Trigger 2? Where he kind of just offer anything, bow. I'm like, whoa, look at the damage.
It's good.
Like,
that's the most buff V-Trigger in the game. Like, you know what we mentioned earlier, how they buff like the V-Trigger 2s and the V-Skill 2s to say, please use this. Yeah. They actually did that with Ryu V-Trigger 2. Right. Like that, you actually want to use that now because the damage extension is insane.
Damage, the stun, like, I don't know, man.
But he's still throwing fireballs. I think he's top in the top echelon of characters, but I don't know about top 5. I think to be top 5, you just have to have such a simple and super powerful game plan, and I think his throw game mid screen isn't the best. And I feel like that's also like a super powerful component, is having good throw pressure anywhere. His throw game in the corner is really good.
But so I mean, he's got this. No, he could come up to you.
The shortest range 3 frame in the game. Yeah, his damage, his frame traps, and everything are true, but I feel like mid screen sometimes he throws you, you're just out. So
Yeah.
if characters who can keep you close with that and just pressure with lights and throws, I think are the best contenders. But honestly, my answer is meaningless. I'm just waiting to see what happens. You talk to Japan, they say something completely different. You know, Abigail and Zangief for like top 5 for them, and in America, everyone says V-Shift killed grapplers forever. So I think there's a lot of different opinions, and I can't really say. Just a lot of characters are strong. Anyone can blow you up, is what I think.
Apart from Birdie.
Well, maybe for other people, I still get blown up by Birdie. That's that's me though. Maybe that's me. I gotta work on that.
So what do you think about like G then as a character? Because obviously G was a character that everyone was talking about before, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really see anyone talking about G anymore.
Yeah, I think he's nerfed. I've been playing him a bunch with V Skill 2 just to troll people because it's funny.
Yeah.
Like he is different, is what I'll say. I think overall he's nerfed because you know, I played a lot of G. He's my secondary, and I use him for certain matchups, and I still will use him for certain matchups in tournament. But they added a lot of recovery on his fireballs, and people haven't cracked the code on that yet. But it's so negative that on hit or block with certain situations, you'll get punished. Like the fireball is like -11 on block sometimes, like level 1 fireball, and like you can just super, you know. But it's one of those things where it's not intuitive. But if you go to the lab and you're like, wait a minute, like I can really just punish him on hit or block sometimes, depending on the situation. If you have like a fast super or something or a fast EX move, you actually can just punish him. So that'll get worse over time when people get better.
Yeah.
And then his V skill 1, that orb, it's like way slower for fireballs. It's like 4 frames slower. So you actually lose out on these fireball battles. Before you would just like approach, like keep absorbing, nonstop. Now, like you try to do that, you get hit every time, and then his V trigger one timer is way lower, so you can't rob as hard. So he got nerfed with his season 4 game plan. But then they added like the level 3 mechanic, and then they added V shift. So he has this new game plan where you can like try to level up real fast and do those V skill 2 stores so that you keep your levels, and then every time you V skill 2 you build V meter on top of that, and then when you're in level 3 you can do V trigger 1 style special cancels. So what I've been doing is, I don't know if it's that good yet, but it works for some matchups. You just like throw fireballs, sit back, V skill 2, try to sneak in some level ups, and then you get to level 3 and then you're just doing fireball, V skill store, fireball, V skill store. You're building V meter. Then I'll just do like a random low from full screen, and then I'll cancel random low from full screen, and then I'll spend EX bar to make it safe, and then I'll just V shift away. I'll just V shift right after. I'm back here. Fireball V skill, fireball V skill, fireball V skill. Low, you try to approach me. Spend EX bar, V skill back, or V shift back. Keep doing it over again. So it's kind of trolly, but it might be legit. So he has new ways to play, but I think overall he's nerfed.
Yeah, so again, it's back to what we were talking about, where they want you to try the other V skill out, because I don't think with V skill 1, Birdie's G's my secondary as well. So it's like, even with like, you know, V skill 1 was always the one to go to. Everyone went to V skill 1, V trigger 1. That's what most people go to, and it was like you never V skill 2 is alright, but it's not really something you go to. But it's like now that the orb has been nerfed and stuff, it's like, oh, well, maybe I should try V skill 2 out. And maybe that's the game plan, because I was playing him in the first part of season 5, and I was like, nah, he feels different. Like I don't think I could do it. I'm going back to Birdie. But now that you've kind of told me this with V skill 2, I'm like, ooh, maybe that's what it was.
It's not for every matchup, and you lose a lot of damage because the V skill 1 gives you all the combo enders. But in some matchups, it's if you get to that level 3, it's like game over. But it relies on them letting you get that level. You know, sometimes people like let you get away with level ups when they shouldn't. But yeah, it's fun. I would say try it out. I've been using the 70s, the Disco G that just came out. And just like, fireballing people in V skill 2. It's pretty funny.
Sick. All right. Thank you very much. Oh, I wanted to ask you about Sagat as well, because Sagat, everyone's been talking about him. Just a quick one. Sagat, what do you think about him?
Ooh, well, I always thought he was underrated.
So did I.
I thought Sagat players were, you know, we got Zaf, and we got a bunch of other Sagat players in the US, and the way they talk about Sagat, you would swear that he like self-destructed the moment you picked him. Like, it was just over the top. He definitely had a lot of quality of life problems and a lot of issues that make him not stable for the meta. He was lowish tier. Maybe not low tier. Maybe mid tier. Maybe mid tier. But man, the way people talked about it, I was like, bro, come on. Like, he's not helpless, and he does mad damage. But now they gave him like the knees, like the power up, the better Tiger knees. I think is still, it's better. I think he still suffers from the same issues of being overly reliant on fireballs in a game where a lot of characters have anti-fireball tools, and just like when he's cornered, it's just not a good look. Like I think he still has the same issue with that. But they made his mid-screen control better, and I think he gets more damage from certain hits, like his EX fireball, like jab punish to EX fireball to Tiger knee works, which I don't think worked before. And so he has better punishes on -4 stuff. So like when I dash punch, Sagat actually is one of the best characters in the game for punishing dash punch, because his standing light punch goes half screen. I don't know. It's one of the furthest range 4-frame normals. And now if he spends bar on that, he always gets more damage and more pushback, right? He pushes you away further to go back to throwing fireballs. So I think he's better, but I still think he suffers overall from the same issues that made him not like a top 5, top 10 kind of character. So I think he's good. Probably the same place, a little bit better quality of life for Sagat players, but I don't think people are going to ever switch to him. Like, that's not going to happen.
All right, cool, man. Well, Brian F., thank you very much for this, man. This one's been a long one. I might have to separate. I don't know whether to separate them into certain parts, because I feel like this has been a lot of knowledge, and it might be too much knowledge for them, you know, at once. So I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But yeah, let them know where they can find you, man.
For sure. I'm on twitch.tv at Brian_F. Same thing for YouTube. I stream pretty much every weekday. Been dropping like 3 to 4 videos on YouTube every week as well. And I'm on Twitter at BRI4NF. So Brian F with a 4 for an A. I'm working on getting that handle, but that hasn't worked out yet. But yeah, you can find me there.
All right, wicked, man. Thank you very, very much. Go check him out. Go follow him as well and go support. This is the end of the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, both channels. And yeah, leave a comment and we'll be on to the next video. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.